Welcome back to another rebuild video, guys. We are doing the Minnesota Vikings, who are currently labeled, ironically, as rebuilding, which I feel like is highly untrue, but where they put them at. So we have another rebuilding team with only really great in passing, which is slightly expected. I've done some looking at this team already. I have an idea of what we need to do, and I'll show you guys what the team looks like post the first free agency as us taking over as coach. And we'll be running with Coach Yulf Harold, according to Google and other sources. This person's name means Wolf Lord or Wolf Roller, so I felt like that was somewhat appropriate. They didn't have Viking or anything that was like really not hard to say. I should have done Sten. Sten means stone. It would have been funnier. Yeah, but anyway. On to the actual gameplay. So the free agency is over. As you can tell, we went 8-9 last year, with some pretty decent stat lines showing over there, especially on the defensive end of the ball. Ironically, we couldn't throw the ball, which I feel like is a Sam Darnold issue. But that just might be me. But to quickly review free agency, I'm trying to contain myself. Yeah, I did that. Now I know, is this a legitimate signing? No, the Chiefs are going to retain him every single time. I can't pass this up, though. I only signed 3 people. A running back to replace Akers and Jones, because I let both of them walk because they want to be. Well, Akers did, but Akers is awful. And I signed a cornerback to replace the 2, Gilmore and the other guy. I can't think of his name off the top of my head now. I can go look, but I'm not looking. I don't really care enough to go look. But the team now looks like so. J.J. McCarthy at the quarterback. Mason currently leading the backfield, with Jay Jetta and Addison as the receivers. The left side of this line is absolutely freakish. I could use a center, and maybe our guard, but digressing here. Defensive side of the ball, nothing too crazy. I'm going to probably try to get rid of Van Ginkel so that I can put in Turner with Greenyard, and then keeping these 2 here. And then your boy needs to sign a D tackle or draft a D tackle or trade for one, something along those lines. But I don't have a lot of picks, and I forget where my first rounder goes this year. We're at 15 for a D tackle. Go figure. Here's the thing though. If I can find an offer for like a lot of like 2nd and 3rd round talent, I might just go do that. But we'll see. We'll go to the draft. We'll see if we make a move or if we see if we make a pick. There's only one way to find out here. So I moved Van Ginkel for a D tackle. So my D tackle thing's fixed. I have Dexter Sr., who is normally a beast. By the way, side note for anyone who wants to make trades really quick. If you do them once the draft starts, your player's value like skyrockets. I'm just saying. Don't know why. Don't know what the coding is for this. But if you wait until, like, your pick, your players, you don't have to wait till the pick. Just start the draft. You can sim to your pick, and, like, your player's value might increase more. But, like, if you do, like, open the draft, do it, boom, boom, done. It's, your stuff's fantastic. All right, so this is saying more than likely take a receiver or this corner. Honestly, I just picked this corner. I'm taking this, absolutely taking this corner with elite agility, acceleration, great speed. Player recognition's not great, but block shedding, press, man coverage, and stuff like this is fantastic. And frankly, according to this, my strongest position is corner, which I don't believe in the slightest. I don't have any real knowledge on any of the... I mean, the receivers here, technically, is another one I can go after, because... to be fair, having a 3rd receiver for him to throw to basically solidifies everything that I need. So, it's not out of the question. I'm not seeing... Initially, it's just... the only good one with catching is the... was that initial one there? What's this guy? He's a playmaker again. Okay. AAB... what's it? ACB is the big ones there, which is spectacular catch, release, and regular catch. He has BCA. But he's a good kick returner. So we're actually going to go... I don't want to go receiver first pick, though. He's also really slow. Center is very tempting. I won't lie. So was running back. I'm gonna go receiver. I need to check this team really quickly. Let's go check the team really fast after this trade. Because I'm saying this, but it might just be best to take a... Let's just line up this. I was like, I love how I blanked on what I was trying to type. Giant Fist lineup, boom, done. So, Naylor at 75 is who that's replacing. 75 at center. Could technically... I don't know why it's not putting... Why did it put him at end? That's dumb. Alright, he's in the middle, technically. I could technically use an end. I mean, I have two 77s and 75. I don't want to go. Let me see if I can get pick-wise for this from, like, the Chargers. Let me see something really fast. Let me see if I can make a trade with it, because I don't like where I'm at. I want to move. Because there's just too many options that I'm not thrilled with. So I moved back to the Chargers pick. But I also got their 3rd this year and their 2nd next year, giving up a 6th this year, a 5th in 2 years, and a 5th next year. So that's not bad in my opinion, because that puts me back to pick 23. And I got some options to work with there. So if I go back to my pick here, see, they went right end. Gay went at the receiver spot, but I don't think that corner went. So let's take a look with after all that. So you still have Tate and all of them, but the corner that I liked is still here, and I think that's who we're going to go with. Just because I feel like he's a better player. I am a god! Please be hidden.
No! No! Why? Why?
So for our first 3rd round pick, I have quite a few of them here from trades. I am taking David Reed, a tight end here. Why? Because I want a 2nd one behind. Oh, back. Oh, he's hidden W's. Alrighty, I'll take it. Yeah, as you can tell, I have, what, 67, 87, 89, 72, and 96. I have quite a few thirds. Now, I could have probably packaged them together to try to move into a position where I could take other players at a different spot, but I didn't feel it was worth it. Now, free safety, in my opinion, is not a bad one. Now, I do have to go with an outside linebacker eventually here, and I'm thinking this one's going to be it. Because he's pass coverage, and that's what my linebackers are going to be doing in a 3-4. So, to replace Van Ginkel and possibly overstep the other person, we're taking down. So that one was a huge help. Now up to 72. We have a few options here. I don't need to go corner. I could technically go receiver. But none of the receivers here, unfortunately, are very good. I could go power back out of at the running back position, which is always a huge like for me. And he's apparently a top fit for us. Now, the only other question I have is, do I go, like, the right guard here? Who's not terrible, but he's not great. But he's probably not going to start. I think I gotta go the running back because it kind of will complete our offense, and also I can then try to move Mason or something. 91, I'm at 72, normal depth rate, it's fine. So I can now try to move Mason before my 23rd pick and try to go for like one of Jacksonville's ones. So now Jacksonville won't go for it. Out of these teams here that need a running back, you know, honestly, it's Oakland. If I can get the 81st pick from Oakland, that's probably my best bet. Let's see what I can do. And there was the move for the 81st pick from the Raiders. I also got a 6th round in 2 years from them as well. Alright, so with the remaining 4 picks of this 3rd round, I think we can make a play. The issue is they're not going to start. That's the problem. Is they're not going to be good enough to start any of these instances because even if the class is set to strong, you're not going to grab a... Actually, he might start at 42. He might actually take that right guard spot. Now, technically, the center is lower, so he might be moved to center. But I also have some end issues. So, we're going to attempt to address that now by taking this power rusher, Will Smith. It's not great. He is the fastest 40 time, which is great and everything, but he's block shedding's not the highest of where I want it to be. And just as I suspected, he's not fantastic, but we'll see how he progresses. Hopefully he can do me well. And then I have a few other picks here. In all honesty, I think I'm going to probably end up going another end rusher here because I want free safety. There's a left end over there I wanted to go get. It was actually right beneath him. This left end right here. This was the speed rusher. Again, a lower block shedding and everything, but he's getting really fast guy. So, grabbing two guys that are fairly fast, and he's hidden. This guy's hidden. As you can tell, like, they're my top two needs I just took right there. Now, technically, free safety is a need, because I have Harrison Smith, who is, to be fair, fairly old. This is my last pick of the draft. So the question is, do I go center, or do I go free safety? Free safety is sitting here with some options. There's there's a strong safety there. There's two other ones down there. But the thing is, I have a 75 overall center who, frankly, isn't great. Now, what I'm looking at here as an option isn't great either. Which is the problem. I have mediocre... Actually, Jonathan Bolton's not terrible. The only real the only thing is he's going to probably have pass blocking finesse and run blocking power and pass blocking power as D's. And then his awareness is going to be a C and his injury is going to be a D. Which isn't fantastic. But I think the better option is taking one of those safeties sitting there and then moving them as I need to. So trying to figure out which one of these to take is probably my best bet. If we're being honest with ourselves. Just because, again, Harrison Smith is on his way out. Everybody knows this. I think everyone knows in real life that he's going to be, if he hasn't already retired, I think there's a heavy contemplation going into the season that he was going to retire. But I'm not too sure. Now, the issue is, most of these guys suck with coverage, which is a problem for free safety. You need to be good at coverage. Because we don't do run support here. We do other things. Hybrid. I think I gotta take... I mean, this guy's the fastest strong safety in the draft. I think I gotta go with the run support free safety here just because his hit power is pretty good, but he has elite strength. And he's fairly quick, so I feel like that's a win. Plus he jumps. He's pretty explosive, so I feel like that's going to be our best pick there. May have not been true, but it's what we went with. So we'll sim to the end here and see how this goes, but this has been a very eventful draft, to say the least. Alright, so for the draft recap really quickly, we have a 76 overall corner. Ooh, 66 overall tight end. That was a bad one by me. But we nailed the next three, in my opinion, so that's good. In terms of the NFL, though, best player off the board, 81 overall receiver. That was actually a really good one. At 8. But I think we were... Yeah, that one stinks to miss on, in all honesty. So the question then becomes, actually really quickly, if I go to round 1, pick 15, which was the right end, Curtis Dalton. I could have taken him. I didn't. He was hit. Kind of figured he'd be hit. But they got a 74 overall power rusher, whereas I got a 76 overall corner. I think I have a little bit of advantage there. But to give everyone a quick look at the team now that we've done all this, I don't think it helps as much as I was hoping, unfortunately. Hentley takes over at the running back spot, which is great. We did not fill getting him a third receiver or a better tight end, unfortunately. Reed being hidden just at 66 overall is not good, unfortunately. Now, with Whitelock, I don't know if I want to put him in over Ingram. Yes, the issue is I would much rather put him at center over Bradley or Ingram at center than put him in, because, to be fair, he's better. I don't want to. The issue is Ingram is 76. He's nearing 80. He's just not going to get there because I'm pretty sure he's like 27? 26. Okay. He's not going to improve dramatically is the problem. Defensive side of the ball, Galloway takes over here at 70. There's a 71 overall middle, which isn't bad by any means. If I go up one, yeah, put him at the third there. Franklin takes over here, which is good. Smith, again, the edges look atrocious, but they should develop pretty well, which would be highly likely and highly nice if it can happen. And then Childress takes over here at the, and then I think the safety that we drafted is another 66. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's some large whiffs there, which stinks. But looking at this, we got some options here. Obviously, the running back situation here on third down is not good, but it's not terrible. And then I could technically put Galloway as the sub linebacker, but I'd rather catch me at the reps currently at the moment. But not looking too great, not looking too bad. Definitely the most lackluster defense I've had yet to start. We don't got any X factors or anything, and frankly, I don't think anyone here really develops into anything crazy. I think Murphy gets superstar maybe, and I've seen Dexter Sr. get superstar. That's really about it. But we'll see. I definitely need to figure out a center position issue here. But I don't see anything I can comfortably... The issue is there's nothing here I can comfortably say, yes, I can trade this away and have depth. The only thing technically I could do would be to move Turner, Greenyard, or even move Paceman Jr. Probably about it. But even then, I'm not going to find a quality center with that's the problem. So we'll see by mid-season where I'm at and what I want to move for. If I don't see anything I like, I'll just go to the end and you guys didn't see that. If not, you'll see a move. Any moves I make. Alrighty. So post-season here, we made playoffs. We apparently still can't throw the football, which is bizarre. I feel like I need to switch the offense for the playbook for that one. The running back game took a hit, but our running back is nowhere near as good as Aaron Jones was, so it's understandable. But the defense looks pretty good. The rushing part, a little lower than what I'd want, but I do have 2 young edge rushers, so that's kind of expected. I think we have 2 young edge rushers. Unless one of them got benched, because I know the CPU likes to just randomly make moves and then not tell me anything. I'm not winning in any categories, unfortunately. So let's take a look at the team really quickly. I see the running back has progressed very nicely. So has J.J. McCarthy. So has Addison and Jefferson, still a hard 99. Offense looks well. Whitecock is actually a much better center, so I did switch him to the center position in the center so that he actually goes over Bradley for good. We did not sign Ingram back this year, but besides that, the O-line's going to stay. I just need to find a better tackle, or guard, sorry, not tackle. Ideally, if we can find me like another 90-something guard, I'd be happy. Oliver does leave. I did let him walk just because Reed's up to a 72 and he's gonna be star, so he'll progress faster than Oliver will. So Franklin apparently gets superstar, but is not high enough to unlock any of its abilities. He is 1 short. 75 is the threshold. To give everybody a quick idea, let me do this and this so that you guys can get a full understanding of the team. Childress has progressed phenomenally at the quarterback, at the corner 2. And then Smith got the 71 before being replaced by Hassan Reddick, apparently. Not sure when that happened, but more than likely it was whenever Franklin got his status over Reddick, and they made the move and flipped him without me knowing. Middle linebackers aren't going anywhere. Neither is Greenlaw or anything. Galloway's a 74 overall star. It's not bad to see. Surprised he got in. I didn't think he'd get in a ton. I have 3 punters for some, or 2 punters and kick 2. Either 2 kickers or 2 punters for some reason. I don't know why. But they both stink, so I'm ended up having to sign in somebody anyway. Probably should sign a running back. Henley's good. I mean, he got us to 14. I just don't think that's enough to get us over the hump is the issue. But besides that, sim out a week here. Our first playoff game. We have a shot to make it run. The issue is our defense is really low, so I don't know if they're gonna be able to hold up. But we'll take a sim here and see what happens, I guess. And a 1-possession win over the Falcons gives us in, but apparently we have an injury, which is Henley. I'm gonna be honest with you, if he's out for 3 weeks, he's out this week, next week in the Pro Bowl. I can put him on IR, but I would much rather go sign a free agent here really quickly to fill in that running back spot. And in all honesty, I can take Hunt, but we're gonna take. Or I want Gainwell. Gainwell's really. Actually, Gainwell's nowhere near as fast as I thought he was. Let me sort by running back speed. We can take Moster, who is 34 years old. But he's not bad. The question is how's his ball carrier vision? His ball carrier vision plays a huge role in sim. For anyone who doesn't know. So I'm gonna sign Hunt to a 1-year deal. Now I gotta cut somebody because I'm over, I think. No, it's not gonna make me cut anyone. Perfect. So let's play this. I guess we'll sim to the end of this one and see what happens. I'm kind of curious to see if we can win it, because if I look at it, the Rams win in defense. So they get more points. They are better at passing. We're better at running, but we give up less points. We have a better passing defense, but we have a worse rushing defense. So this is gonna be an interesting one. But let's take a look, see what happens here. I'm kind of curious. Alrighty, so we are actually winning this game handily. I'm kind of wondering what the Rams have been doing this entire time on offense, to be fair. But they still have Stafford. The thing is, they still have Stafford. And Stafford, if you watch the last rebuild, goes extremely fast downhill. Like, you only get 1 year, if that. And apparently in this sim, he went downhill quickly, and this is not it. Like, this was not a sim for them to try to make a run with Stafford again. So they're going to keep trying, but unfortunately, there goes Puka Nacua, which is honestly probably their largest weapon that they have right there. Because Cup's still good. The issue is Cup has to be in the slot, and the issue with them is Puka ends up being above. That's just Tutu Atwell just dropping that ball. That was Tutu Atwell just dropping it, even though no one covered him. But the Rams are really iffy one to see in this because they're a really good team. The issue is once Puka Nacua steps over top of Cup, there's a problem. Because Cup becomes extremely ineffective after that. And there's a holding call on our right guard, who I'm not resetting, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, the issue with this is Puka Nacua becomes very ineffective Cooper Cup becomes very ineffective for them after Puka Nacua steps over him, unfortunately. Cup's really only good in the slot once he gets to a certain point in this game, which kind of stinks. And then Stafford, he really isn't good at all after about 2 years. You get that like initial year, and then technically this would have been like their second best one, and this is clearly not his year. Hand off to Hunt, because our running back's injured, who's 20 for 73. That is nuts to see from a 30-some-year-old Hunt. I think he's 30-something. I don't know. Please, he's up there. But yeah, Stafford just sucked, apparently. and McCarthy went off. So, honestly, wholeheartedly, I'm pretty sure McCarthy just hit Justin Jefferson a few times because their secondary is awful. Like, if anyone watched my rebuild, I had to focus on that a little bit. But that's another win and another new injury. Who's the injury, I guess, is the question. We're now down Naylor until the end of the year. So he can go on IR. There's no way we're getting him back. Naylor's done, which is fine because I think the next guy below him is actually somewhat close in terms of everything. But again, we're fighting an uphill battle here, if we're being honest with ourselves, to take on the... But actually, this is probably a best case scenario for us. Is that the Bucks won? Like, and granted, they beat the Eagles, which is terrifying, but they're not better than we are in any category. I think we got a pretty good chance of winning this. The only thing I'm gonna do is I need to look at one thing really quickly here before I go sign a receiver free agent. That is, we have a slot guy. Right. Slot guy is Addison. Perfect. I just want to make sure we have a slot person. But yeah, ideally, because Harnell is our second here, and honestly, Reed would be the better person to put in over Hawkinson and them. And I don't really want to put Reed as my wide receiver 3. So I am going to go find me another receiver. I'm thinking... I want a speed guy, but the issue is we already have a fair bit of speed in terms of our team, if I'm not mistaken. Who's the fastest? Is Quez Wong. I love... Dude, I'm so annoyed that he never gets a larger chance. He's actually somewhat decent in this game. I don't think he's actually that good in real life, but he's actually somewhat decent in this game, so I'm going to put him in. And considering the threshold to get over is 66, he's fine. He's gonna play, which is awesome. So he takes over wide receiver 3. So currently looking at this team, what did we do? I improved your center and a guard. I technically took a downgrade at running back. You could have kept yours, in all honesty, and been fine. Aaron Jones didn't want to be here, and unfortunately, you hit a certain point where he sucks in Madden, and then you have to get rid of people. But you could have kept Jones, in all honesty. I think he would perform fine, but the overall makes an impact here. Looking at this, I revamped the corner room with some younger talent, which honestly is better. For Childress is better than that, and then Rodgers is probably about the same. We increased our D tackle and edge presence. We have a seasoned veteran who's pretty good with a young person behind him, and then a star on the one side who I think finally gets an ability. No, because he has morale 75. He doesn't get it. And not the true 75. That stinks. McCarthy's still star. He's developing pretty well. It's good to see. And then, we left the safeties alone. So really, the only 3 moves we made on this defense was 1, 2, 3. That was it. That's all we've done. Like, that's a free agent you could probably sign. Now, granted, you probably aren't going to sign right because he wants a gigantic contract. But still. In terms of the offense, I didn't put any money into the running back room, and I drafted somebody who played pretty well. So, personally, we're looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. I guess we're doing the same thing here. We're going to watch that last 2 minutes here and see how they do. I'm kind of curious. All right, I almost missed this, but there's a minute 36, and they're down by 7 on a 4th and 7 here. Rush up the middle, short. Not gonna get there. Vikings football. Let's go. And the defense comes up huge when we need them for that final stop, baby. That feels good to see. And then Kareem Hunt proceeds to barrel forward. So this is not as much the Kareem Hunt football game. Like, Kareem Hunt last game had 70-some rushing yards. He only had near 100. He's only around 60 now. So this isn't as much of him as it is everybody else. Which I'm assuming that means if it's like, hey, Sleto, what's his name? JJ McCarthy probably has a great game again. If not, we made a lot more mistakes this time, which I'm kind of annoyed about, to be honest with you. But we'll see. There's nothing we can really do about it. But no, nothing looks too bad. I mean, we're winning. If he holds on to it for another second, and if he snaps it whenever, we now have a win. And we are moving on to the Super Bowl with JJ McCarthy. Why are we punting this? There's no need to punt this. Why did we snap the football? There was no need to snap the football. Why did we leave it in bounds? First of all, is that Dexter Sr. on our punting team right there? Am I dumb? Did I just see him run down the field and make that tackle? But there's our win over the Buccaneers. Oh, here's an interesting one to end the video. Possibly end the video here. Minnesota Vikings 12-3, less in every category versus the undefeated Baltimore Ravens. They are first in everything other than passing. What? I'm assuming they got Coach of the Year. It's still Harbaugh. Okay, I didn't know who it was. I didn't even look at any of this. I have no idea if we're on any of it. After the NFC soccer. Jay Jetta at 7. Nothing here. Henley gets 4th. Reed's at 9th. Chindress is at 2nd. Unfortunately, the superstar dude did not get there, which sucks. Everything else was McCarthy at 8. Nothing in terms of running back. That's just kind of expected. Hey, look, you know who made it back, though? Aaron Jones, who went to the Saints. I told you, I was dad wanted to let go. Jay Jett is sitting there at the 4. Smith with the 1. Does he get X Factor? Can we get an X Factor tackle? Darnslow's on there as well. Nothing. We had Chindress down there at 10 for best DB. Reinhardt gets best kicker, so not too bad there. Obviously, now we're slightly concerned because, well, we're going up against the literal best team we could possibly face in the 17-0 Baltimore Ravens, who are winning in every category. Now, does this offense have a chance? Yes. The question really comes down to is, does this defense have a chance? I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't know. Like, we got... It's only an 83 overall team. Which... honestly, it's probably hindered by the fact that Hassan Reddick is a 75. So, it's probably where my low end of this comes in, which is why I'm doing pretty well, is because the overall tanks because of him. But... I don't know. I don't know if we can win this. I'm going to be honest. I'm looking at this. I don't know if we can win. I really don't. We have a 99, a 91, and an 88. And they have a 99, a 96, and a 94. I don't know what they did differently. Normally this team is like barely like winning the AFC North. To go 17-0 this time, I have no idea what they did differently, but clearly it's not throwing the football. So, I guess we'll hop to the end of this game and see. See if we can win. The fight was, it's only 4 p.m. Why am I yawning so much? Alright, we have an 9-point lead. So they have to score 2-point conversion in field goal, or they have to score a touchdown and kick a field goal to take the lead. Touchdown, extra point, and field goal to take the lead, if that's what they choose. A 2-point conversion won't get them there. And that is Murphy out. That's a star corner out right there. That's a problem. I'm not happy about that one. But we're looking okay, I guess. Let me make this viewing a bit more easier on some people in case something happens up top there. They're trying to run it with Henry. We're stuffing them. They still have 1 timeout. In all honesty, they need to score without using it, but Lamar seems to be struggling to find certain people. This is for their undefeated season, folks. Over the middle, the Flowers. They're still marching. They got a shot. There's 44 seconds. Why are they getting so lucky with these runoffs? Henry over the middle, down to the 9. Time, they used it there. I don't know about that one. You're gonna throw it short. He's just sitting there. Lamar, do something. He could have ran it in. Why? Lamar is not a pocket quarterback. Why did he just sit there? First of all, that was a horrible pass rush by us. What is going on? What is this sim? We're bringing 4. Decent pressure in the middle. Knocked away by Harrison Smith. He's still playing. Lights out at 30-something at this point. I don't know. We're assuming he's 1 year older than he is now, but that's insane. Lamar still has time. Pressure. Got to him. He had Henry on the cut up. This is 4th. This is do or die. I mean, in theory, you can kick the field goal now and then go for the touchdown, but you only have 20 seconds. So neither one of these looks great. It's looking, throwing, caught Flowers, touchdown. Extra point here means onside kick field goal gives them the win, but they're still down by 2. Yeah, that minute 28, minute 29, it'd be like closer to a minute, maybe 45 seconds. Here's the onside kick. This determines if they have a shot. And it is recovered by the Vikings, by Addison. And he'll go down with 14 seconds left. Minnesota's won the Super Bowl. Let's go. That's huge. That is absolutely huge. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Purple and yellow confetti, folks. Let's go. There's a win. Oh, that is probably the scariest ending to one of these I've seen yet. Like, I've had some go into overtime that were like scared. That's a 17-0 team that we just beat there for this. So that feels fantastic to see. I'm so happy that happened. I really am. Got J.J. McCarthy already to a Super Bowl quarterback with his first year starting, technically with us in the second year in the league then. So, there's an interesting one for you. But to recap what this team needs to do. You need to improve your D-tackle position. That was a big thing. Get yourself another guard and a center. I left one of them. You can leave the right guard alone. Just fix your left and center. You can probably do away with Oliver. I just didn't have to sign him. Didn't feel like signing for that next year. His cap space didn't play a huge role in it because I still had 70-something going into that year. So he didn't personally play a huge role in this. But yeah, fix your D-tackle. Fix your aging corner room. Because the idea of young corner with then other, like one young corner with other older corners doesn't work. So they need to fix that. Safeties are fine, middles are fine to make a run. The issue is you're going to have to replace Smith soon, and technically I think I'd have to do it after this season because he's probably going to retire. In all honesty, in real life, he may have already retired. But, anyways. So, center, a guard, D-tackle, improve your ends. I just drafted 2 young guys. I think they were running Hassan Reddick over my young guy that got drafted, which honestly both of them just dragged down the overall of that team in all honesty. The ends killed the overall of that defense, but the overall of the defense was fine. So, put some youth in your corner room. Fix your D-line. Honestly, try to trade for, draft a star D-tackle. Personally, I think it's what they need to do. And get yourself a center and a guard. Solid center or guard. Not just a center or guard. Solid center or guard. And they'll be fine. But thanks everyone for watching. Come back for the next one, which will be the New Orleans Saints are coming up next. So, thank you for watching. Come back for the next one. Have fun.